What's up? I'm 23 years old and I quit my job, a pretty good, stable job, and then moved states with not a huge amount of planning. And that's actually the second time that I've done that in like 5 years. Um, because I'm 23 right now, and when I was like 19, me and my lady were wanting to move out, and so we did. We're from California, and they were like, "Oh, we should move out," and we knew we couldn't really afford California, given our situation. So we're like, oh, let's just move to Salt Lake City, Utah. So we did, and that was cool. We lived there for 4 years. And, when we moved out there, that was just on a whim. I mean, we planned it and we knew we wanted to move, but we just, I was working, I think I was landscaping at the time, yeah. Um, and, so I had to, I mean, my job was fine. She had a job, she was working at Chipotle. And then, but we just wanted to move, and we're like, dude, look, we're young, let's just do it. So, I mean, that was kind of scary because, we just barely had enough money to move out. And we'd never been to Salt Lake, we never visited it, we never went until we moved out there into our apartment. And so, I mean, that was kind of, you know, I mean, if you never moved, and I never moved, like my lady, she's moved a couple times, like as a kid, like with her family, but my family's never moved. I've been in the same spot. And so, I mean, that was a lot. I'm also in a big family. So just deciding to move out, and it's like, oh, we're moving to this state that we've never been and we don't know anything about it. So, there's a lot of doubt coming from friends and family. And so whatever, that was a lot. But so then we spent 4 years in Salt Lake City, and that was cool. We worked at a warehouse. So she was working at Chipotle, and then but just she transferred, and it just wasn't going the best because she couldn't really speak to a lot of them because a lot of them were mainly speaking Spanish at her location, which is chill, but she doesn't speak Spanish. Um, and then there was one girl that spoke like really good English. I think it was just a white girl, but she was kind of moody and didn't want to talk to her, so that was lame. And then the other girl was deaf. So, no hate. But, it was just kind of tough. She's like, oh, dude, I can't talk to anybody. The one person I can talk to, she's not very nice, and we don't chat. So then she ended up getting a job at the warehouse, which I was at the warehouse. I got a job there because my brother was out there. So that was why we chose Salt Lake, because my brother's out there with his wife. And so we're like, look, let's just move somewhere that at least we know my brother and like his wife. So that was cool. And then so we worked at this bike warehouse for 4 years, and that was chill. Like it was fine. And and that was paying good. Like we were making do, we were paying our bills, um, and it was chill. Um, but then after 4 years, it was like, dude, this kind of blows. It was just the same thing, dude. Like I'm walking in circles with a whatever, dude. It just was lame. Like at first, it was cool. I mean, at first, everything was cool. It was all new. And once we got past like the scariness of like, oh, we're moving out, we're in a new place, and yeah. So I mean, to touch a little bit on that, like just, I mean, moving out is like it's a big tough thing, like being a young. I don't know. It's just, I feel like the idea of moving out seemed easier than it was, and honestly, it was fine. Like move, like if you want to move out, whether you're in your 20s or you're in your whatever, like if you want to move out, it's definitely doable. Like me and my lady did it, and we made it work just fine, and we paid it. People didn't think, like our parents both didn't really think it was gonna go that well. Like whatever, we could feel the doubt, and that was part of the reason we didn't want to move. Like people were like, oh, if it ain't gonna work out, you could just move back. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. We're gonna make it work. So then we are like determined to make it work. Um, and then we did make it work, and it was fun. It was cool. We worked. We got a cat. We upgraded apartments after the first year. The first year we just lived in a little shoebox, tiny little place. The beds touching the freaking oven. Like whatever. Yeah, just like we moved into like a closet, but we had our cat, and that was awesome. And then the cat later passed away. Very sad. But she's a great cat. We both missed her a whole lot. But and she was adopted. She already, she didn't pass away from poor care. She had whatever was going on. All right, sorry. But yeah, so we moved out. There was a little bit of family tension at the time, so that made things a little bit tough. But whatever. All right, so that was chill. We enjoyed ourselves. That was a fun time. We spent 4 years there, and we started building up some good. Like we're both at the warehouse. But that's not like where we want to stay. But we're both saving up money. and then things are going pretty good. And so then we decided after 4 years to move back to California, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. Is the decision to move back again, because we moved out there the first time when we are like 19, she's like 20, and that was a lot. But it's like I'm just leaving this little job. I'm not making like whatever. I'm making enough money. But frankly, I pretty much got lucky. Whatever. I got some money, got lucky with some stocks. I don't do stocks anymore. I got lucky. I know I got lucky, and then I lost a bunch of money later. Anyways, I did decent with these stocks, right? And then that kind of paid at least my side of moving out. She just is a responsible lady. She saved up to, and we made just enough money to move out. Like, we paid like first month's rent and moved out, and we're like, hopefully we get a job. So I had an interview. So like neither of us, well, she transferred, whatever, dude. So we just went out on a whim. That's all I'm saying is you could do it on a whim and it's fine. And it was fine. It was cool. Um, and yeah, and so once we were out there, especially once we got into our bigger apartment, we got into like a 2 bedroom apartment instead of like the shoebox we were in. And we were in that thing for a couple years. I think we did, I don't know, I guess like 2 years in the shoebox and 2 years in the bigger one. Because we were there about 4 years. And my brother's out there, his wife's out there. Everything's chill, everything's nice. Like we're just having a good time. We're working hard, but it was also hard because like we're from a little tiny desert town. Little desert town that like there's not a ton going on, and then we moved to the city, and so Salt Lake, it kind of felt like LA, but like smaller, but still it was like kind of like a big city vibe to us. But like people also call Salt Lake like a village vibe, and that's accurate, that's good. It is like a village vibe. It's like they also call it Small Lake City. That's true too, because like we didn't make that many friends out there, but like we would see our coworkers out in the city. We're like out in the city, and maybe that's common. I don't know, dude, but like we're out in like a city. There's places to go, and then we see one of the homies in the bar or one of the homies in the shop, and we're like, oh shoot, dude, that's cool. So whatever. It's a cool place. It's a good place. Salt Lake City, good place. Like it there. Um, but yeah, once things started to really just get stuck, it's like, dude, we're working the 9 to 5 grind, which is cool. Ain't got no problem with that. I mean, other than the problems I have with it. But it's like, it was fine. It just like, it was starting to feel repetitive. It was starting to drag on, like after years of just working in this warehouse. And it was good pay. Like, not crazy pay, but it was enough pay to like pay our bills, save up a little bit of money. Do the things. But then it's like, but we're still like working for these people that are working us a little too hard, not paying us what we should. Like we're making decent money, but with like how much money we're making for the company, it was kind of bullshit. And then they kept like cutting our dude. They'd like whatever, dude. Just all the things you hear about. It's like, yeah, dude. Like they would tell us, oh, we're cutting bonuses. But then they have the execs pull up in like a nice rented car, like a Ferrari. And it's like, okay, maybe that isn't a through line, like 1 to 1 of like, okay, execs in a Ferrari, but we're getting budget cuts, but whatever. But they kept sending money to weird places to where like they should have been sending to us. And then they're like, oh, whatever, bro. It doesn't even matter, dude. It just started sucking, dude. And then there's all the workplace drama. And then in the winter months, it's dark heading to work and it's dark heading back from work. So, like, in the winter months, dude, I was getting depressed. Like, you go through, like, the seasonal fucking sadness, and that really hits, People talk about that out in Salt Lake. I never experienced that other than there. This total seasonal sadness, bro. Gosh. Yeah, dude. Because you just can't go outside. Or you can go outside, but, like, I don't know, dude. It just sucked, dude. We'd be going in the dark, coming home in the dark. All right, whatever. So it was cool, but like the warehouse wasn't treating either of us the best. And, whatever. So some weird things started going down, and it just wasn't the vibe anymore. And whatever, you know what? We knew it wasn't the vibe. All right, and there's another thing I want to talk about, because yeah, dude, when we moved back to California, it really was on a whim too. It was like this time neither of us were gonna have a job. Like when we decided to move back to California, at least when we moved to Utah, I had an interview coming up, and my lady was transferring to a new job. So like she was transferring Chipotle, so she was secure. I wasn't. But then I got the job right away. Then she got the job at the same warehouse, and then whatever, it worked out. But after 4 years, we abruptly were like, dude, this is not working out. And like, we have my brother and his wife out there, but we didn't really have like a good foundation of people. Like, you have your work friends, but they're the work friends that are like, oh, you want to hang out after work? And then they're like, nah. Or they're like, yeah, but then they don't. Or they, whatever. We just didn't really have like the homies out there. And I have a big family and I'm close to my big family. My lady's close to my big family. So it's like, dude, we're just feeling like moving back. And so we did. And that was cool. But so in preparation to moving back, it's the same thing. It's like moving to Salt Lake and moving out of Salt Lake. Like both, it doesn't really feel like it's really something you're doing until it's like you're really about to do it. Like till it's like the week of, like I remember when we moved to Salt Lake. It's like later my mom had mentioned how like I seem kind of emotionless, and there was different reasons for it. Like there was a lot leading up to moving out, so I think part of it was just like this excess of feelings going on, and there was just like a lot going on at the time. And then whatever, she was like, oh, you seem like emotionless, and it's like, dude, there's just too much going on right now. And then we didn't, whatever, dude. I don't want to bring up this bag of worms. Anyways, we had our jobs. Things were chill. We were feeling stuck. Things were feeling repetitive. And I wanted to the whole time, like, I know I want to be a landscaper. That's what I'm doing now. Spoiler alert. Now I'm out here, I'm landscaping, bruh. And it's working out. That's what I told my lady. I was like, dude, when we move out, I'm gonna make it work doing landscaping. And I also make videos. Like I do some different stuff elsewhere. That I'd like to make work. Um, but um, if that doesn't work, that's fine because I like landscaping, and the videos I make are kind of around landscaping, anyways. So it's kind of goes hand in hand. So I don't expect the videos to go crazy or whatever, but it's like I'm also telling her like, look, if this worked out too, that'd be sick. And she trusts me. She's like, all right, yeah, dude, go landscape. And so when we moved back, dude, it was you know. You just gotta hold yourself responsible. That's one of the tough things about kind of being young and then going on your own. Probably in general. Like, okay, I'm younger. Like, I'm, 23, so I'm not trying to be like, oh, fucking being young. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, just doing anything on your own is probably tough. But it's like, before you move out of your parents' place, like at least my parents would like help keep me accountable. So, anyways, all I'm saying is moving back out and moving out without a job, and we have a little bit of money saved up. But then the other thing is my lady, her parents decided, like they said, oh, we'll take you in, like, because we pitched the idea with them. We're like, look, we like the idea of moving back. Like, we miss you guys, we miss my family, her family, we miss some of our friends back home, and just like the vibes of like, we're from a little tiny small town. So it's like going to then, even though Salt Lake, like, it's not like big city. Like if you're from a big city, but it's like we're not from a big city, we're from a little fucking desert town. I'm a little desert town, she a little slightly different. Whatever, dude. And so that's chill. But it's just like that's something that moving out taught me, was like, all right, dude, I'm a little desert boy. I'm just a little desert trash boy. And that's fine. I like that. And so it's been nice to come back because you know what? Neither of us disliked our hometown leaving. We just wanted something different. And, it was fun. And we're both glad we did it. It was sick while we were out there and it was fun. But coming back to this dusty old little town, both of us are like, dude, this town rocks. And we both knew it rocked. But, a lot of people like to have the hometown hate. And, that's just how it be. It's like, oh, this is where I grew up. My town sucks. And it's like, nah, bro, it doesn't. And then you leave and then you come back and then it's like, dude, this is a good town. Just think about that. The town you're in, it's probably actually a pretty good town, unless it's really bad. But if you're in your hometown right now, or you're, going to go visit your hometown soon, just go out at night on the porch and be like, you know what? This is a cool little town. That's the town that raised you, bro. So, yeah, it's a cool town. It's good. It's chill. Um, and yeah, so we just decided to move back. We told our boss like abruptly, like it was when we decided to leave Salt Lake, like it was abrupt. We're both working good jobs. The people like us. Things are going good, but it just like kind of blows, and we're like, dude, we want to move back. Um, and so we just like it was out of nowhere. Like we were kind of having conversations of maybe we should look into getting a house out here at some point, and we're telling my brother that my brother gets a house, and then like we were talking about that, and then like a day later, I call my brother. I'm like, dude, look, I think we're gonna move back to California in like a couple months. And he was like, what the fuck, dude? We were just talking about chilling out here. Now you're like talking about moving back to Cali. Like, I don't think so. Get it? That was a reference. Um, and then he's like, dude, what the heck? And I was like, dude, yeah, it's just the vibes. That's what we're trying to do. And whatever. And then, so, we started, and so he was bummed. I was bummed to leave. Like, if it was up to me, he'd be out here too. He was bummed. I was bummed that we'd be further away from each other. But that's chill. It's cool. It's just how the cookie crumbled. And part of it was I want a landscape. And so okay, sorry. I know I'm getting like way off track. This is just how it be. So I appreciate you listening. But so I had a good thing lined up out there because we know I want a landscape. And just so happens my brother's wife's mom is a landscaper, and she's kind of fizzling out of landscaping. And she pretty much was telling me, like, hey, dude, you can take over my business. Like, my hands hurt. I'm getting like carpal tunnel and stuff like that, dude. Like, you could take this stuff over, and then like, or what, like she was gonna give me her clients. And so of course I'm excited about that. Like, we're gonna start getting things moving. And so it felt like things were lining up out there. And you know, so that was like a big thing, was like, I'm like, oh dude, I wanna have a landscaping business. And this lady, like my brother's wife's mom, who I'm cool with and close with, and I like her a lot, she's like, dude, you can take over my business. And like, I've worked for her before, and like, she likes me. I like her. I like her clients. I mean, I've only worked for a couple of them, but it's like she's doing what I want to do. She's planting flowers and stuff. Like, right now, I'm fucking raking leaves and stuff. I want to plant flowers. She's doing the planting flowers and stuff. And so that felt like, boom, this is lining up. This is crazy. This is good. Um, and then we still were like, but no, this isn't the vibe. And because like, yeah, I did want to do that, but it's like, I'd rather do it out here, honestly. It's like my whole family's out here. Like, yeah, I got my brother out there, but and so that's like what I'm telling him, because he's like, dude, like, I don't know, like, I'm just confused. You have like this whole business out here, like, about to line up, and I'm like, yeah, dude, but that's not my only priority. Like, my priority, honestly, right now is like be around all our brothers and sisters while they grow up, and just be around all the family. Like, that really means a lot to me, and I miss being around everybody and just going home. And then I'm like, yo, what's up, dude? And chilling with the boys and chilling with our sisters, and just like, just popping by, and then just being able to hang out. Like, it was tough only being able to see them like once every few months, if that, like once every 6 months. And then, yeah, I got little siblings, then they're a few inches taller. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Why are you all tall now, dude? This is crazy. Um, and so whatever, And so there was just like a lot of feelings. Like, being out on our own was sick. Like, me and my lady, it was awesome. It was great. And it taught us a lot about each other, like living with each other, taught us a lot about each other and ourselves. Like, I learned a lot about myself, like being out there on my own. And I went through a lot and like dealt with a lot of just things I had never dealt with, because I was never like, and I was with my lady, but it's like, like being on our own, it was just like a whole new vibe. And so that was cool. And so, it's like, we're on our own. I'm about to get this business. Things are cool. But we both had this feeling like, dude, we got to get back to our hometown. And so we just were like, dude, let's just do it. Like, we're like, dude. And so there was like this moment. It was legit like, we could see two, or like, this is how I felt when we were talking about it, because it's like I could see two things, like two futures. We're just on a walk, me and my lady, and we're like, should we move back? And it's like, I can see, like, dude, because we both, like, we even looked at a couple houses. We toured a couple houses. Not that we have like enough money to like buy a house, but like, we're like, oh, we could probably make this work, especially if we save up a little bit more. Like, this is realistic that we can probably keep up with paying for a house, and that's something we wanted to do, and we were gonna do it out there. And then we're like, dude, we both just kind of came to the point where we're like, dude, moving home sounds fun, huh? And then she's like, yeah, it does. And we're like, dude, what if we just do it? And we're like, dude, should we? Like, we're thinking about staying out here, and like, this is such a big change. And he's like, what do we can do for work? And I'm like, dude, I'm a landscape. And she's like, dude, what if I go get a job at a freaking coffee shop? And then, dude, and then we just did it. We told the people, like the next day, like 2 days later, we like told people at work, like, look, dude, we're moving out soon. And they're like, dude, what the heck? Weren't you just looking at houses? And we're like, yeah, but you know what? The wind changed, boy. And so we decided to just move out, yeah. And I don't know, dude. We just packed up. We just made it happen, and then we moved out. And then we move into her parents' house, and so it's like we're kind of on this honeymoon, not honeymoon, but it's like, oh, we have a little bit of money saved up, and then like so she's starts applying, and then she ends up getting a job at a local coffee shop, and she's so excited. That's so awesome. um the only local coffee shop. She got a job at a local coffee shop, as if there's options. No, she got a job at the local coffee shop, which is brand new. It just got built, whatever. um Not just got built, but you know what I mean. They ain't used to have that stuff back in my day. Back in my day, dude, back in my day, not that I'm so old, but this little town is, and hasn't gotten stuff until whatever, bro. All I'm saying is, I remember when they built a Dollar Tree, and that was the cool thing to do. Like, that was like, oh, we don't have dirt bikes. I guess let's go walk in circles in Dollar Tree, or like Stater Brothers. But then they got Dollar Tree, and so of course Dollar Tree, buck, buck for whatever you want. Yeah, dude. Not now, but that's how it was. Um, and yeah, dude. So whatever, dude. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. I'll get better at this. I want to make this channel to kind of have like a little video journal of stuff and just thoughts. I just like talking, dude. I could ramble, and so that's what this is. Um, but yeah, I just want to talk about this. Like, if you're a younger person, or I keep saying younger, whatever, dude. If you're a person and you're thinking about moving out, and you're like, I can't do it, or it's gonna be hard. It's like, you can do it, and it's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be fine too. And it's like, you can go back on your, like me and my lady, we moved out to Salt Lake, and then I remember my mom saying, like, look, if it doesn't work out, you can always move back. And we were kind of like, yeah, yeah. We just like don't want to. We want to prove that it'll work, and we just didn't think that we would move back. Like, we just were like, oh, I don't know, this is what people do. People move away, and so we did, and it was great. It was awesome. But then, we started getting the feeling, you know what? We miss our families, and we don't see them as much as we'd like to. You know what? This city life is cool. Not that we're so city life, like so city vibes, but we were out in the city, and it was sick, bro. I'm telling you, it was cool. Doing something new was awesome. Like, I'm so glad we did it, but I'm also so glad we're back home in the hometown. Like, it's just so nice being in the hometown, dude. And it's just like, things just change, and you don't know what's going on, So like, if you're thinking about moving out or just doing some big change, dude, honestly, just do it if you want to. Like, you'll have the feeling, like, you'll know. And it's like, yeah, bro, it'll go back and forth, dude. When we decided to move out the first time, it did not feel like it was like we booked the apartment. Like, we like paid. We just like virtually toured this place, called them, we paid for it. Um, and then we're like, holy crap, I guess we have a place. So then we just like move out, get some keys, and we were like, holy crap, we have a place. But like, leading up to that, dude, it was so much like, is this really happening? Oh, it's not. And, we'd never done such a big change like that. And so, like, dude, I barely packed up anything till like the night before, and we're moving out. Like, we're like sayonara, moving out, not to never come back, like, whatever. And I left so much stuff. I felt kind of bad, dude. I made whatever. That was lame of me. Like, I packed up a little bit, but my parents, I think, packed a lot of my stuff that I should have packed. So that was lame on my part. But I think part of that was just like not realizing, like, dang, dude, this is actually happening. Like, we're really moving out. Because it was like the night before, my lady, she's like, dude, what the heck? We're leaving tomorrow. Like, get packed. And then I pack a couple things. And so we just left very minimally, moved out there, didn't fully have jobs yet. I had a thing coming up. And dude, when I did my interview, first of all, I just wanted to pull up and like, I wanted them to, at the very least, I just thought it would be funny, like, pull up like all crazy looking. And so I'm pulling up to this warehouse job, this bike warehouse. And I would normally dress like this, but I pulled up in I pulled up in a turtleneck, a trench coat on top of the turtleneck, some jeans, like this cowboy western belt with my last name on the buckle, like a dangly ass gold earring hanging from my ear, my left ear. I don't know if that's the gay one. I only got one ear piercing. I've heard that the right ear piercing makes you gay and the left one makes you gay. So whatever, dude. I got my freaking ear piercing on, and I just pulled up looking crazy. I mean, I think I look cool, but one, I've barely worn a turtleneck ever, and I don't know if I've ever worn a trench coat. And then for this warehouse job where then it's a bike warehouse. Like we're walking through and everybody's in gym shorts. Like the people interviewing me are in like gym shorts and bike pants and like a tank top. And then I'm pulled up in a freaking like nice trench coat, and they're all thrift shop stuff, but you get some good nice stuff from the thrift shop, so I'm talking like some good nice Swiss trench coat, and then like this turtleneck, and then this flashy earring, and then whatever, dude. And so I don't know if I portrayed, because then they're like, what is this, some freaking fruity boy? And that's fine if you're a fruity boy. They like the fruity boys. They have like fruity boy flags and stuff there too, which I like them too. They're chill. That ain't me saying nothing to get. I'm just saying, bro. I don't know if I showed up giving the vibe like, oh, this guy can really move these heavy product. Not that you can't, whatever, bro. You get what I'm saying. Not that you can't do that with a turtleneck and the fucking trench coat, whatever, bro. I'm just saying. That's not normally how I dress. And just looking back at it, I think it's funny. And then my brother was working at the time. He got me the interview. And so he came up to me. He was like, what the fuck are you wearing? He came up and like, he was like, dude, what the fuck are you wearing? You're like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude, what the heck do you mean? I thought this was the dress code, which was a joke. And whatever, dude, they hired me. They liked me. My boss, once he became my boss, he was like, dude, I loved your interview. It was really fun. Cause I don't know, dude. I just dressed up funny, and I'm just who I am. Like I'm chatting, and I don't know. He also thought it was funny. I'm all like talking about the homies and stuff. Cause like, and I wasn't like it's the same thing. I'm just talking to them how I'm talking right now. Like, he's like, oh, like, can you lift heavy things? I'm like, yeah, dude. Me and the homies are like gym rats at the time. Not now, bro, but we were. And I said that to him. I said, yeah, me and the homies are like gym rats, which I never even said gym rat. I don't know. That was for my buddy Nate. He would always say gym rat. And I was like, yeah, dude, we're like gym rats. And then, I don't know. And then I just remember later, he was like, oh, dude, it's funny here talking about, I don't know, the homies. And I don't know. But he liked me. And I like him. He's a cool guy. Dude, that dude punctured his lung. Oh, whatever. He's fine. But, dude, he's like older. Not older, but, he's like late 40s or 50s. And then he punctures his lung. Collapses his lung. Sorry, he didn't puncture. He collapsed it, and then he came back to work like the next day. He collapsed in a bike accident, and then he just like came back to work like the next day, or like maybe took one day off. But that was always the running joke that this dude doesn't take time off, and then he collapses his lung. He still didn't take a day off. All right, bro. Yeah, dude. I don't know. We just moved back, and now things are nice. I thought I was gonna come in here and like have this like narrative arc to what I'm talking about, and then it just completely spiraled. But now that we moved back, business took a while to pick up. Now I'm starting to do some landscaping. My lady loves her job at the coffee shop, and it just everything is feeling right. That's all I'm saying. Everything is feeling good. Like I wish my brother was out here, my one brother from Utah, because that'd be fun. I miss seeing him a lot. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I miss aspects of Utah and some people out there. But it doesn't overweigh like being out here with the family, and like now we're living with my lady's parents, and that's been a just great opportunity. Like it's just fun, and like we're taking advantage of it. That's how I'm feeling. It's like, what, like I don't got no shame that we're in the place with her parents. It's like, nah, dude, like why, like I not that you should feel embarrassed about it, but like maybe there's a stereotype that like maybe you would feel embarrassed about that. Like, oh, I'm 23. I moved out on my own for 4 years just to move back in with my like my in-laws. And it's like, we didn't have to do that. We wanted to. And it's like, yeah, we don't like want to stay there forever, but like we're getting on our feet, and it's awesome, dude. Like I love her dad. I love her mom. And it's just fun, like, getting to see them in the mornings and getting to like, get like expand our relationship with her parents too, and like as a couple. And it's like, and we've been together a long time, like 8 years, and we're about to get married. And so it's like they've known me since pretty much a kid, like her parents, and I've known them since really young. So it's just cool to see how time changes, because it's like we've been dating since I was like 16. Now I'm 23, she's 24. And now it's like, I used to come to her house, the same house that now we're living at, and we would like hang out and like see her parents a little bit. But like now we're like, I'm like helping around the house, or I'm drinking beer with her dad. And it's like, oh man, this is cool. Like I used to come here when I was 16, and now like look at us now. Fast forward a little peek in the future. It's like, dude, this is cool. And it's cool looking back that we were in Salt Lake working at a bike warehouse and we had a fun time there. And then now 4 years later, hardly feels like anything changed, dude. Like, that's what's crazy. Things are just crazy. It's like, dude, um, we were at a bike warehouse for 4 years, and then now we're back home, and now we live with her parents, but like the vibes feel the same. It's like we see my family, we see her family. The vibes are chill. The vibes are awesome. Um, and so I know obviously things have been difficult for different reasons of moving. I didn't get work for a while, and I started getting worried from it. But then things started providing things started working out. I started getting work, and you gotta put your foot forward too. Like I'm putting ads out there, I'm getting work, and things are getting and things are just working out really well. you know and so yeah, all that to say, like, if you wanna, or if you're just listening, that's cool. But if you are like a person thinking about making a big change, take it from me that like it's fine, dude. You could do it. And yeah, it'll be hard, dude. Like there's a lot of tough stuff about like moving out. Like was really hard. It was honestly really hard, but it was simpler than I expected. In terms of like we just online toured some place, we friggin' got approved, we paid them, and then we just moved in. And then we were just in a new place, and then we got new licenses, and then now we're Utah residents, and then whatever. And then now we moved back. Now we're changing our plates back to California, back to where we started. And that's cool, dude. 4 years moved like a snap. Like so much happened in that time. But now we're just back home, and things are back to where they were. And things were a blessing while we were out there, and things are changing now. And just things change, and it's crazy. And I don't know, dude. Now I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. Um, Last thing is just, yeah, things are, I don't know, bro. This sucks. I'll get better at chatting over this stuff, huh? But yeah, dude. And you know what? I shouldn't speak on her name like that. I miss her. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, little kitty cat. Oh man. All right. Thanks, guys. Later.